Hey folks, Major G, and today is actually a pretty important day. Today is voting day, so it's time to get out, rock the vote, um, and do my civic duty. I also got to run one more errand. I'm going to actually, while I'm over there, because they're in the same place, I'm gonna go over to the ranger office and check about drones. So yeah, see you guys soon. It's a fresh dream. So yep, it's that special time again. Time to vote. So when you live at Grand Canyon, there's only one place to vote, and that is at Shrine of the Ages, which is a kind of what do you call it? A multi-purpose building. It's a multi-purpose building. It acts as a church, assembly hall, and the polling booth or the polling station. So, yep. You guys can see here, vote here. So, time to do the civic duty. And so that is that. I'm actually running a little bit short on time, but I am right next to the ranger office, so I'm going to run over here real quick, see if I can't get this question asked, and I'll explain later why I'm actually going to the ranger office to double check on this. So see you guys in a little bit. So yeah, here I am at park headquarters. And see right here, there it is, right there. So let's go ahead and figure out what I can do about this. Well, that's messed up. I guess I accidentally, I didn't actually turn on the camera like I thought I did. So I went in, and I wasn't recording the guy, like his face or anything, but I went in and I talked to the guy at the desk about the possibility. And at first he was really confused because I'm pretty sure this is not something that's come up before. But I went and I asked him. I let him know I was interested in purchasing a drone, and I don't know if he's new or what, but he was kind of he was a little surprised or taken aback, and was like, well, I don't think we sell them here. And I'm like, no. I'm letting you guys know because of the laws. I live here and I know the laws, and I wanted to see about the permits, and they were actually a little surprised about that. Though knowing the bureaucracy around here, I'm not all that surprised by that, because there's a huge communication problem when it comes to our NPS. And so I let them know I was interested, and that from what I saw online, that I would have to, wow, that is worse than I thought. Sorry, I'm looking at my tire. From what I know, from what I've seen online, I would have to check with, I would have to see with the superintendent, but and talk to them about that, or about getting a special permit. But as he knows, and as I'm aware, and many of us as some of us in the park are aware, because once again, huge communication problem with NPS and everybody else, we don't have a superintendent right now. So, because our superintendent just got fired, and so he told me that there's actually a new one coming in next week, so I can check with them next week about it. and he kind of waffled on whether or not he speculated if I could get a special permit. And he initially said, yeah, I don't think you could get one near the rim. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it near the rim, because even if I could get that, the wind patterns just aren't ideal to have a drone. I wanted to show off some of this forest that we have around here. And yeah, he kind of waffled on whether or not it would be possible. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna have to check back in about a week or so. He got my name, and until then, because I don't have it right now, it'll probably be a while before I get one. Until then, I can, if I do any filming, I would definitely, from what I've seen online, I would definitely have to do it outside the park, because they're pretty strict about it. So, yep. All right, I'll continue this a little bit more tonight. See you guys later. Hey guys, future me here, finally back. I almost forgot to film this section. So, first off, let me first talk about the voting. One moment. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about how I was voting. Now, where I vote in Arizona, they give us a paper ballot. So we do everything on paper. Whoops, sorry. I don't know why I'm pointing toward the microphone. The microphone can't see you. So we got our paper ballots here. This is just a sample. Or wait, is this? Oh, this is an early one. Is this yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So this is a sample ballot. Sorry, it was confusing me because it says official ballot on top, but I thought it was a sample. I was making sure this wasn't the early voting one. Because I've been getting, for like the past few weeks, I've been getting texts from the Democratic campaign telling me to vote, and I think this was like almost every day they were texting me to vote. And I always do vote. I just do it on election day. So yeah, in Arizona we actually do get a paper ballot. It's not too. It looks exactly like this. Yeah, it says sample ballot right there in the watermark. You can kind of see it right there. So, and then we just slip it in another piece of paper and slide it into a machine. So ours are fairly accurate, I would say, as long as they're doing everything correctly. It should be very accurate, because it's like a Scantron, except we get a felt pen instead of pencil. So at each booth, there's a felt marker, and you just fill in the thing, fill in the circle of who you want. There's no stamping, none of that. You just do that, and then if you mess up, they always say if you mess up, you can go back and do it over, or not do it over, but they give you a new one if you feel like you messed up. So it's very, very easy to vote in well, at least in northern Arizona, where I am, because there's not really any computers. There was one just to scan in my ID. They do ask for my ID when I come in. I have an ID, because everyone should have an ID. And that's actually what I was told by my country stepfather. he instilled that in me to have an ID on me at all times. So yeah, I carry an ID. So the whole ID thing is like a non-issue with me. And so, like, yeah, having an ID doesn't bother me. I think everyone should have an ID. But if they're actively preventing you from getting an ID, that's a problem. So that's just a little bit of my political take on that anyway. So anyway, yeah, so that's voting in Arizona. And the next part was I did go to the, I don't remember how much I said of this, but I did go to, I do want to get a drone. Once again, I'm very, very much inspired by a lot of the foreign YouTubers I'm seeing who use their drones in really cool shots. And unfortunately, it is actually very much illegal to operate a drone in the national park. In all United States national parks, it's actually very much illegal. And I was just going to do it anyway, and then because I didn't think it would be that much, I didn't think there would be that much of a penalty. But I decided to look it up a little bit, and I saw some videos of people who they actually did get seriously prosecuted. You can get up to when I looked it up, when I looked up the penalties, it's up to a $5,000 fine and up to 6 months in jail, despite the fact that it is a misdemeanor. So I figured I thought they would just shoot it out the sky or something. So I'd just get a cheap drone. So I mean, I'm still gonna get one. I'm just not sure when, and I would just not be able to use it in the park. However, I did see what do you call it? I did see an article, or not an article. I have seen some things that say that it is possible to get a special permit for flying drones. And a lot of the reasons I saw against drones were because of tourists doing stupid things. Such as, and this was on National Park Services page, that it had to do a lot with noise complaints from the visitors. People were chasing wildlife with them, like flying them over the canyon, which is like just not the brightest idea. But you could get a special permit, and I saw an example of somebody who did get a special permit, an illustrator who used it to illustrate the part of the park. I'm not sure which park it was, but so I can't say whether or not it was here. So the way to get a special permit is to actually go to the superintendent and see if you could get one. So here's the thing. We don't have a superintendent right now. We did up until about a week or two ago. And even that one was was she actually the superintendent or an acting superintendent? I don't remember. But for mysterious reasons that no one will state, or for mysterious reasons that they refuse to publicize, she was fired. Our superintendent was fired about a week or two ago. So we currently do not have a superintendent. So for this reason, I went to the park office to see if I could see what I could do about using a drone in the park with a special permit. And so I spoke to the guy at the park office at the front desk, and he didn't really seem to know anything of what I was talking about. First, I mentioned, and maybe it was, I've been told by my girl that I'm a little cryptic sometimes. But I told him that I was interested in getting a drone, and he seemed confused and said, "I don't think you can get one." I'm like, "No, I know I can't get one in the park. I'm saying this because," and I told him first I'm a resident. I was like, "I'm a resident and I want to get a drone." And he was like, "Well, I don't think you can get one in the park." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm here because I'm a resident and I understand the laws surrounding them." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you can't really fly them." And I was like, "Yeah, but I understand there's a special permit, and I wanted to know more about that." And he didn't seem to know anything about the special permit, which was very helpful. I think I was talking to my girl about it, and she brought up that it's probably because he was probably kind of confused because it's an unusual situation, which I'm sure it is. I don't think usually when someone has a drone, they just bring it and try to fly it, as opposed to trying to get a special permit and all that stuff. Because and he brought up the fact that MPS does use drones for various reasons. And I was like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I've seen that on the MPS website. But as a resident, I was wondering if I could get one, and about the special permits surrounding that. And since I'm a resident, and I've been here for a while, it would be nice to be able to have a drone and show off things. And he proceeded to say something about how, it probably wasn't a good idea because flying along the rim. And I was like, no, I understand. I'm not talking about flying along the rim, because even if I was thinking about doing that, the wind patterns, because the thing is that along the rim, the wind patterns are very, very bad, which is why it's currently illegal for anyone to fly into the canyon. Base jumping, helicoptering, bungee jumping, parachute, skydiving, anything with like that is within the walls of the I shouldn't say within the walls, but from like the bottom straight up, more or less maybe 1,000 or so feet up. It's basically a no-fly zone because of the wind patterns. The wind patterns are very erratic. They're very strong. And I wouldn't want to fly a drone down there because I might lose it. And in fact, people have lost drones in that way. So he told me that, and I told him about the special permit. And once again, didn't really seem to be very much aware of it. But I said that I told him that from what I read, it would require me talking to the superintendent about it and receiving it from the superintendent. And of course, as he knew, we don't have a superintendent. So he was like, yeah, that's true, but we're going to get one next week, which is good. So we're going to get a superintendent next week, and he told me to come back next week to ask more about that. Even though I don't have the drone yet, I'm just getting my ducks in a row for that. And I would and it's like I mostly just want to show off the south end of the canyon, like past the residential area and all that stuff. Because he was having trouble trying to grasp what I was talking about. So, and once again, I don't know if that's because I tend to be very cryptic when I speak about certain things. According to my girl, I tend to be very cryptic about certain things. But hopefully I'll be able to speak to the superintendent next week about it and figure out what I can do and getting that permit and everything. Because I would like to show that off before I leave. So, yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what was going on with the whole. That's just basically what's been going on in life this past week or so. And that was just in the course of a day. So, mostly. I did the research before that about the drones and whatnot. Um, yeah, so. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else I need to say about this. So, I am. Oh yeah, I'm currently in the process of setting up my new Facebook page. It is actually up, but it's not fully done. There's still a lot of additions I need to make for it to be finalized. At some point, I do need to get to. As you can see, I do have the new logo up. I do need to actually get to work on my new cover for the YouTube page and the Facebook page, and then I can start adapting things to sound form and creating the podcast. So. Yeah, that's that, and that somehow, if I could manage to summon up the effort to I can't think of words right now. I don't know why, but I can't. Yeah, I can't seem to think of words right now. Motivation. That's the word I'm looking for. Jeez, I don't know what's wrong. That's if I could manage to summon up the motivation to get things done and not sit around and play Red Dead 2 or Far Cry 5. So, yeah. I want to be able to post, have it set so my PS4 can share to my page instead of my personal page. And that would be awesome if I could do that. I tried to look up some stuff, but I couldn't find anything that said I could specifically do that. And if you guys know anything about that, that'd be appreciative. That would be well appreciated if you could put that in the comments. Yeah, so almost there. So I'll see you guys around next time. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. And stay geeky. I guess so. So yeah, that's another thing that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
No.